Hey everyone, it's November 4th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with serial killer Nannie Doss, known as the Giggling Grandma, who murdered at least 8 victims beginning in the 1920s. And that is her right up there. Doss was born Nancy Hazel in 1905 in Alabama, one of 5 children in her family. She hated her dad, a strict disciplinarian, and was a poor student who was almost illiterate, often missing school because she was forced to work on the family farm. After suffering a head injury at the age of 7 in an incident on a train, she had headaches for years and possible brain damage, which may have impacted her behavior later in life. She and her sisters were forbidden from wearing makeup or attending dances and other social events, as their father believed that would lead to promiscuity. Unfortunately, she was molested regardless by several men before she was even a teenager. When Doss was 16, she married for the first time, having 4 children in rapid succession. She began drinking and smoking to cope with the stress of raising 4 young girls while living with her husband and mother-in-law. The marriage was not a happy one, with both husband and wife having multiple affairs. 2 of their daughters died of food poisoning in 1927, and her husband feared that Doss had killed the girls. He left home, taking their oldest child with him, but left their newborn with the woman he suspected of being a baby killer. When he returned a year later with a girlfriend, the marriage finally ended in divorce. Doss began responding to Lonely Heart ads and married a man in 1929 who she met through one. Think of it as the 1920s version of Hinge. This marriage lasted 16 years, by which time Doss became a grandmother when her oldest girl had a child of her own in 1943. She was there to help with the delivery, and tragically the baby only survived a few hours. Her daughter thought she saw Doss stick a hat pin into the head of her baby, but being groggy from ether she had been given to ease the pain, she was unable to clearly remember. She also had a son who died while in the care of Doss in 1945, which was ruled due to asphyxia from unknown causes. Celebrating the end of World War II, her husband drank to excess and raped Doss, not how I would celebrate. In response, she added rat poison to his whiskey jar and he died a painful death that night. She soon married again after meeting a man through a personal ad, and he quickly died due to what was ruled heart failure. Their home burned to the ground following the funeral, with Doss collecting a tidy sum from both life and fire insurance. Her mother-in-law died in her sleep at about the same time. She married another man and poisoned his mother in 1953 when she moved in, and her husband died just 3 months later. Doss married a 5th time later that same year, and a few months after the wedding, he was in the hospital with a severe stomach ailment. She had taken out 2 life insurance policies and poisoned him with a large amount of arsenic. An autopsy was finally performed on one of her victims, and she was arrested. In custody, she confessed to killing 4 husbands, her own mother, her sister, her grandson, and one of her mothers-in-law. It seems likely that she also killed at least 2 of her own daughters, another grandchild, and 1 more of her mothers-in-law, but her guilty plea was sufficient to garner a life sentence. Doss died of leukemia in 1965 while in the Oklahoma State Penitentiary. If this is your birthday, hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Nannie Doss, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.